Hi, welcome to Real Talk, The Road to Tomorrow. I'm Rithika.
And I'm Timogana. Uh, Today we are here with Isabella, a second-year engineer student at Cal Poly Pomona, who has already been making an impact both on and off campus.
Yeah, Isabella, we're so glad to have you on the podcast.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here with you guys.
Yeah,
Let's start with your journey into tech. What sparked your interest in computer engineering?
When I was in elementary school, I started doing a bunch of summer camps that all had to do with like technology or something in the STEM fields. And I really loved those. And I fell in love with STEM, like everything to do with STEM primarily. And I knew that that is what I wanted to pursue as a career, which led me to picking computer engineering as my major in college. And my mom was also in tech, so she was
mhm.
also a huge inspiration for me.
Okay. Was there like a moment in high school, like maybe like a class or a mentor or project that made you think that like this was it and this is what I wanted to do?
Yeah, absolutely. So I went to Orange Lutheran High School here in Southern California, and they made us pick like a pathway, as they called it, to follow and take specific classes that pertained to what we wanted to study. So mine being engineering. In my senior year, I took honors engineering, which was a overall class that introduced us to a bunch of different topics that an engineer would have to know in the future, like just a bunch of random different things. And there were so many fun projects from like coding to robotics to a boat project where one of our team members had to go in a boat and we tested like the structure of it. All of those really strengthened my love for mainly problem solving and also all the ups and downs that come with being an engineer.
Yeah.
Computer engineering sits at the intersection of hardware and software. How would you describe what sets it apart and what drew you to it?
Ooh, this is a great question. I actually struggled with understanding what computer engineering specifically meant when I was applying for colleges, because a lot of colleges emphasize like the software part as being just computer science, and that's a completely different major. But there is so much more when it's combined with computer engineering. So it's like understanding both the coding and also the hardware circuitry part that make a certain operation happen.
hmm So, what's something people often misunderstand about engineering or coding in general?
A very common assumption or misunderstanding that people make about, let's do coding first, that it's boring or just some dude behind a computer screen. But coding has so many different facets that make it crucial in every job field and not just engineering. Like it can be used in medical fields, data analysis, automation, and so many different areas. But for engineering, I get the assumption a lot more now that I'm in college that I must be really smart or nerdy to be in engineering, or that it's a guy's job, or that it's really difficult. I definitely agree that it's difficult, but I would not say that I'm like the smartest in my class. Like we're all learning and making mistakes along the way. And while there are definitely more men than women in my classes, I have found that the most hardworking of us are the women, and slowly we're balancing the ratio of men to women in STEM fields.
Yeah.
And what has been the most unexpected or rewarding part of studying engineering at Cal Poly so far?
Ooh, definitely the connections I've made. My roommate is in electrical engineering, and that was just by pure chance how we got like assigned. We were so similar in majors, and we've both taken classes together and had similar classes, and it's been really great to like study with her, cry with her over bonding over our struggles and our wins mainly too, and we've become really great friends. And also all the clubs I'm involved in, which I will definitely get into later on
Mhm.
have absolutely kept me in love with Cal Poly Pomona and its community.
hmm Do you
S-
have like a
So,
favorite? Do you have a
why did
favorite? Oh, sorry.
okay. Why did you choose Cal Poly? Because I'm pretty sure it's a polytechnic school. What is like the difference between a normal school and a polytechnic school?
Yeah, so it's Cal Poly Pomona, so it's the sister school of Cal Poly SLO, even though they were the first one, Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. But ours is just based in Pomona instead. And um, I chose it mainly because of their like main goals for mainly engineering is like hands-on learning, which I really value, and just like the application of what you learn in classes to like real world experiences.
Mhm.
Mm.
Do you have like a favorite campus spot to work on projects or just chill?
Honestly, I feel like I'm always really busy going to meetings or classes. So when I do have a moment to chill or do homework, it's at my dorm. But I feel like outside of that, I love the different the group fitness classes that our gym offers. Like they do like Pilates or spin and sometimes like different types of dance. And those are definitely a way for me to regain my energy in a difficult week.
Mhm.
What kind of activities or clubs or experiences were you involved in high school?
I sort of touched on this a little earlier with being in my like the STEM pathway at my school, but outside of that, I was also involved in a bunch of different leadership clubs. Like one of them was ambassadors, which is just like the giving tours to prospective students and parents and also hosting events like throughout the school year. But another one that I was involved in that I really loved was orchestra. And I'm still involved in orchestra now, and I've found that both of those experiences help me round out my abilities. So it's not just like I'm focusing on academics, but also extracurricular things. And that is definitely something that colleges look into is not just your grades, but also how you can diversify your skills. And I definitely recommend taking any opportunity you get because you don't know how far it can take you.
Mhm. Was there like something that was like most helped you for success in college that you did in high school?
Um, Probably just being really involved in anything I could get into, like all the clubs and opportunities I had. But
Mhm.
also my friends and teachers were a huge impact on my life because they're all also so hardworking and dedicated to their craft. And they helped me keep being motivated to do well and prepare me for college.
Mhm.
Was there ever a moment when it came to choosing engineering that made you doubt choosing engineering, and how did you push through that?
There are too many times I can remember that I have doubted choosing engineering. There were just not that it was like maybe a little bit of imposter syndrome, but there were definitely some difficult times in my life that I can remember just not wanting to continue doing well academically. But like I said, my friends that have also had those similar um like difficulties and also have similar aspirations to me, like getting an advanced degree or pursuing their dreams, helped me remember how hard I've worked to get where I'm at now, and I shouldn't just give up on it and keep pushing through every trench that I find myself in.
Mhm.
What advice would you give yourself if you could travel back in time?
Oh man. Probably just keep working hard and not be so focused on getting 100% on everything or making everything perfect because not everything will be perfect. And it's okay to make mistakes because you learn from those and they will help you grow as a person.
Mhm. Was there like a project you worked on, like in class or through a club that you're proud of?
Yeah, so I am in um, our one of our more bigger clubs, or I guess it's more of an organization. It's Cal Poly Rose Float. So we work on the a float to go down the Rose Parade on New Year's. And one of the projects we did for this past float was an Arduino project, so coding to make one of our mechanisms, which was a dog, turn its head from side to side. And it was so fun working with all of our team members, and they're definitely like some of my great friends now. And it's so rewarding seeing like the hard work we put into from like basically our entire fall semester and then like all of December and all the weekends that we have in like our lab to make it, and it's really rewarding to see all that hard work come together.
Hmm.
Looking ahead, do you see yourself in any specific area of tech, maybe robotics, sustainability, aerospace, or something totally different?
Oh man, I would answer this question differently in like every era of my life so far. In middle school, I definitely would have said aerospace because I was like in love with space and like exploring the unknown. And that's not completely out of the picture for me as yet. But in high school, honestly, it was really chaotic. So I don't know what I would have said, but definitely something in coding. But as of late, I've been wanting to get into quantum computing, which is basically like extremely speeding up computational processes with quantum mechanics. And it's a really niche field right now, and I'm still doing research on it. But I've been looking into some master's programs specifically in quantum that I want to apply to in the not so distant future.
Hmm. How do you think your leadership roles in clubs and other organizations have shaped how you collaborate and like with other people?
Yeah, so at in college right now, I'm a part of an organization called RSA, or the Resident Student Association, and it's an on-campus club for residents in our little specific area. And that has absolutely helped shape my interpersonal skills and leadership skills. So we mainly bring together our CPP residents to host fun events or workshops for our residents. So it's like the residents giving back to the residents in the dorms. And it's definitely connected me with some of the best people that have such different backgrounds and give me a look at how important multitasking is and also how it is to work in a professional work environment and while still maintaining like my grades and other responsibilities.
Hmm.
Mhm. How would you describe the engineering community at Cal Poly Pomona? Is it collaborative, competitive, or a little bit of both?
Um, I would probably say a little more collaborative than competitive through my lens, even though there's probably definitely competition as well. But CPP really heavily emphasizes hands-on learning, like I said, which is so valuable because you're not just sitting in a professor's lecture for like 3 hours, you're learning how to apply those in like physical circuits or like a coding project in like a lab setting.
Hmm. And for high school students who are curious about tech but haven't really experienced it yet, what advice would you give them?
I would probably, there's so much to say, but I would probably say definitely emphasizing to take any opportunity you can get because you don't know how or like how far it can take you, and you can meet great people through those as well. I would
Hmm.
also say probably to not be afraid to speak up or speak to people because those connections are so valuable. And I definitely have talked about connections a lot already, but I should have taken that advice when I was in high school or in that era because I am not the best like public speaker or like phone calls. Don't like those. But like speaking to people is so rewarding and valuable, and you can get so many different perspectives with everybody that you meet.
Hmm.
Are there any beginner-friendly resources or tools you recommend to someone who's getting started with engineering or coding?
Yeah, one specifically that I got into in some summer camps and also high school is code.org, which has coding classes and workshops for like every level of education. Like I was on their website last week and there was some for like kindergarteners. So like you can get such like a diverse introduction into coding that way. And also things like Girls Who Code is a great networking opportunity and you can advance your skills in like just a few weeks.
Hmm. So moving on to fun and personal questions. What is the coolest thing or most unexpected thing you've ever built?
I'll do two that stick out to me. So one that I did more academically was in high school in my honors engineering class. I think it was part of my final project. Um, it was like a car backup sensor. So with like, I think it was also on Arduino, we like coded that this little sensor would detect different distances of like a car to a wall or wherever you put the sensor. And it would be connected to a strip of LED lights, and it would turn green if you have a lot of distance, yellow if you're like getting close to where you want to stop, and then red if like you should stop. And that was something really fun and more simpler to code, but it was really fun to make. And a fun project that I've done in the past, it was like peak lockdown pandemic time, and I'm a big Disney person. I love going to Disneyland. So I made like floral Disney ears with LED lights like around them. And that was something really fun. And I've been told to make an Etsy shop like so many times, but I'm hesitant because it's a lot of work and I haven't had much time to make those more of them. But that was also a fun, like just for fun project.
Yeah.
Mm. If you could go back in time and invent any piece of tech or app, what would it be and why?
Ooh, I would think of so many different things, but something kind of silly that's been on my mind recently is portable chargers. So I'm going to Disney World in a week-ish, and keeping my phone fully charged is like crucial because like you're there for so many hours. And the current portable chargers I have are either really bulky but work really well, or like small and don't keep a charge. So inventing a small but really powerful portable charger would be great for me right now.
What's one piece of technology you cannot live without?
This kind of goes hand in hand with the portable charger, but my phone,
Mhm.
and it's not just for like social media or things like that, but like keeping connections that I've made through school or just like life in general.
Mhm.
um like it's heavily reliant on communication, and having my phone to communicate with those people is like really essential for me.
Yeah.
And if you can design an app to solve an everyday problem in your life right now, what would it be?
Ooh, this probably exists already, but I found myself just wanting like genuine advice or tips from people that have similar issues or questions to me. So I'm not just like Googling and getting the most discouraging or vague answer that makes me feel worse about myself. But like, I guess social media sites or like even like Reddit takes care of this in some way. But like an app for like genuine advice and life tips would be great, even if it was just like how to manage my hair because that is so difficult as it is. Or like more serious things like job advice or like how to make it in a certain field. Something like that would be cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that is the end of this episode. Isabella, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your journey.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
We loved hearing about your experience and how you're making the most of your college experience.
Mhm. Thank
Thank you
you.
guys so much.
Mhm.
You
Have fun at
too.
Disney.
Thanks.